Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Good morning. Today is December the 9th. Woo! We are creeping up to that beautiful, glorious day or holidays, no matter what denomination you are. These holidays are coming in. It is time to party like a rock star, party like a rock star. Woo! That's our theme today. We're going to party and we're going to figure out why we want to party, if we want to party, how we want to party. Thank you, Miss Kim. New music and intro. I love it. Yes, it is. And we have a special guest today, Miss Kiara Weems of The Smile Show. So if anybody is interested, Kiara is on Wednesday mornings at 6 a.m. Eastern time. And she has The Smile Show. And she loves a party. She loves to decorate. She loves to get ready for the festivities. So we decide that we're going to exchange ourselves. And she's coming on mine today, and I'll be on hers on Wednesday, so we can keep the party flowing, grooving. So why do we want to talk about parties? Because sometimes when we have to go, we don't have to do anything. But when we have to go to, like, our company's party, holiday parties, or our family's parties, or our friends' parties, now this thing, right? This thing up here, it becomes holiday parties in full force action, ego judgment mode, right? We human, I don't know why with our human culture, but all of a sudden it's, are you going to go? Why aren't you going to go? How come you're not going to go? Why are you not going to go? How come you're not going to celebrate with us? What's your problem, right? What happened? And it's never I just don't want to go. It's always, what happened that they didn't come? What happened? So, and then you have to decide, am I just going to sit at home and become a loner, become the hermit, not get out there and celebrate, right? There's a whole reasons to celebrate. Celebrate that's the end of the year. If you don't want to celebrate, you know, in any denominational religion, celebrate that you've made it through the year. Celebrate that and honor you at these parties. It doesn't have to be about whoever's throwing the party or what it's about. It's honoring you, honoring that life that you've made it 12 months. You made it through the year. Congratulations. This was supposed to be an abundance year, but I can understand sometimes in abundance years, it can get a little bit of wackadoodleness out there, right? And you don't know if you're up or you're down and you have no idea, but the only way to reach an abundance is to go through the mud, go through the muck, right? Go through. I always tell people, rip it off like a Band-Aid. And if you don't know how, reach out. We'll tell you how to reach out and do it. Is it scary? It can be, but it's party time. It's not time to be scared. It's not time to have anxiousness. It's not time to have these anxieties or these dreadful feelings. It is literally time to be within. It's literally time to say, hey, what's going on? Clear it, because you don't want to take that shit to the next year, right? So clear it, enjoy the party, enjoy the music, enjoy the celebrations, enjoy the laughter, the jokes, the camaraderie, the human contact. This is what it's about. So if we don't like to have that high energy profile, let's boil down and we have to figure out the state of your solemnness. Why don't you want to go? Is it a self-love issue? Is it loneliness? Is it upset with somebody who's going to be there? It's not going to be able to tolerate some of the people who are at the party and what their discussions are going to want to be. Is it about money and politics? Old belief patterns? What is it? Then you just realize, I think to yourself, I've now become this victim. That's what's happening. Oh, hi, Blissy. Look at, there's Blissy. Look at her face on there. The fear. The drama. Yeah, it is. You know, some of us already have a preconceived concept because every year, the same thing. The same people are late. The same people who show up loud and obnoxious, especially late, and then having everybody else wait for them. And then the poor person who prepared the food or the catering, now it gets cold, right? So now your casseroles plop. Now, because people, they just don't want to be there. They don't want to come in. They don't want to be in that circle. So they're going to dreadfully drag their feet. But the person who's hosting the party has no idea. So is that fair? No, it's not. So commit, understand, heal the issues that you have before you go in. You already know that most businesses are going to have a holiday party, right? If you've been to one of your organization's parties and you know that, let's just say, we're just going to have Dick and Jane today. So let's just say Dick, well, that's not a good one. Let's use Sam and Jane. Because, you know, Dick's going to be a dick. But I didn't want to say it like that. But, you know, that's just kind of how it is. You know, I was going back to my old Dick and Jane's in kindergarten, first grade. But sometimes, and then you have Jane, you know, it is Saturday Night Live. Jane, you ignorant slut, right? And then you have your sweaty balls. And like Saturday Night Live does a plethora of all these holiday events. And I just have to sit and laugh. What does Bliss say again? I choose peace over drama. Okay, so when you choose peace over drama, please make sure you're not choosing solemnity, aloneness, seclusion, ill socializing, right? Sometimes when people say bliss over drama, or not Bliss, God love her. Her name is so beautiful, but peace over drama. Okay, so why haven't we fixed the drama? Right? This is what we're getting to. We can't keep going. And I understand some people and some lives are like, they don't want to be fixed. They don't want to change. I have to change from it. I have to cut it off. Yeah, that's the other side, right? That is the other side that we get taught, which is, how do we sever that? How do we cut that relationship? How can I go? But yet I know my aunt, my uncle, my cousin, my, added in family or my own immediate family is not going to be a complete douche. Meh, meh. Well, you can't, because that's free will for them. But you can change the subjects. You can walk in with your happy face, invite your life and people that and honor them. And then when somebody starts, you make your way, as Miss Kim would say. Who's going to argue with you having to go to the bathroom? Nobody. So you just excuse yourself into the bathroom. And then you excuse yourself and saying, I am really sorry. I need to go. I was in that bathroom a little bit too long. It's not going to be a drama. It's not. And then what does Bliss say? Sever with love. Well, you can sever. That's a shame, but yeah, you can sever. But remember, in free will, when you sever in this lifetime, and you might have to come back and relive that. You have the free will, but you might have to come back to relive it. I'm not coming back for anybody to relive any negative. I'm personally not. So others who are, then that's fine, but I'm not. So I have to create a balance in everything that I do in life. And that is how I stay on a conscious positive realm. Because if I see something that's bad, or I see something I don't like, or I see something I'm not willing to accept, okay, we either need to talk about it. If the person doesn't want to talk about it, then we ask for our part to be forgiven. I can forgive them, but you have to at least say, please forgive my part of whatever this disruption may have been. And if you don't say these words, maybe the other side doesn't even know. But it's ill thoughtful if you believe that you don't have a part of whatever that it is that you don't want to go to that party. We all have a part. We all have a stance. We all have to take it. Now, I agree on some instances at parties where, we mature and we develop. And I know Miss Kim's watching, and I'm going to use one of her colloquialisms. As long as you are better today than you were yesterday, my gosh, you just made leaps and bounds of improvements. Leaps and bounds. Because I am better today than I was yesterday. I saw my weary yesterday, but today I healed that weary. Does that make sense? Not all wearies can be, I get you. Not all of them can be honored, balanced, because it takes free will on the other side. And if they are not healed, then that is where you just say, please forgive my part of whatever is unhealed within you. I am trying to balance here and move forward. And if the words are not spoken, I don't know what to tell you. Then somehow, some way, yeah, there's Miss Kim. Woohoo. And then back to Miss Bliss. Driving, gotta go. Great topic. So, yeah, we all have our hiccups. I'm not going to sit here and say, every single party is going to be great. Every single, celebration is going to be great. No, there's always going to be people who that energy just doesn't balance. And so the job is you. It's not them. The job is on you. How you can keep that smile and that balance, right? And just say, there's times I go to parties and I will walk away from discussions and I'm like, no offense. It's just, I can't even relate to the subject. And so since I can't relate, I'm just going to go over there and get me a soda, right? Or I'm going to get me a drink or a piece of cake. So you can do that. There's no issue. There's no problem with that at a party. Here's the other thing at parties, right? When you get invited to a party and the rules change in the last 24 hours, figure out a way to balance it. Figure out a way to show up for them. Figure out a way that you can be part, no matter if it affects you or not, right? You're honoring. You don't have to stay. You can leave because they'll be like, oh my God, no, she was here or he was here. So you're honoring. It's always the honor. And it's always a celebration of life. It is. It's always a celebration when you can see so many people, because the next minute, the next hour, the next day are not proven to be in existence for you in this lifetime. And that's the sad part. That's the sad part, is enjoy these moments. Find a way to enjoy them. Find a way to enjoy the family. If nothing else, just say, you know what? All this past, I can't change history. I can't change it. All I can do is love you today. All I can do is say, I'm really sorry for my part. That's it. I've already forgiven you, because I wouldn't be here if I didn't. I wouldn't be here if I didn't love you. I wouldn't be here if I didn't honor you. I wouldn't be here. But I am. And I want to be here. I want to be with you. I want to celebrate this glorious end of the year with you, right? And that's hard. It really is sometimes, because especially if our mental capacity is not in a surrendering mode. Yeah, that's hard. So we try to find the laughing, the loving, right? The memories that were fun. And we try to figure out, where did it go wrong? Where? Every year I ask myself this. There's some holiday parties that I know exist within, and I don't appreciate some of the people who are there. But I appreciate myself. I appreciate the host. I appreciate some of the others who are going to be there. So in my nature, I smile, because I think it hurts them more when you smile, and nothing's wrong with me. It's on you. It's on you, right? Now, if it's truly on me, you better face up to it, because if not, it's going to come back again and again and again. So there's the hiccup. We got to make sure it truly is on them. We're not ego. We're not judgment. We're not placing that, because if that is the case, then you know what? It is going to be a downfall until you can muster in this beautiful words of yours, I'm sorry on my part. I want to be part of the party. So that means on my part of the party, I have to be balanced. I have to be joyful. And I have to give my love, right? Because I want to be there. I want to engage. I want to have fun. On that note, I see that I am out of time. I have to go to break. Hello, Miss Eva. Miss Eva Fulton came in. So let's just go to a break here real quick. I was hoping for some Christmas music. I don't know if we were able to get it in. It doesn't look it.
Still working it.
No worries. Let's go back up here and we'll take a break with somebody else for a little minute here. Let's just go to the healing. We're going to go to the healing cave. 2 minutes. We'll be right back. 2 minutes, 32. This cave is a one-stop shop to heal whatever ails you. Whether you just need downtime, whether you need respiratory or lymphatic, blood pressures, just any type of program that is medically necessary to you, I am sure salt's going to play one of those factors. I mean, we use saline for our eyes, we use salt water for our ears, we gargle with salt water for when we have sore throats, and we're even putting salt water spray, nasal sprays by our doctors up our nose. Except most of these things that are by our big pharma or our doctors are actually not salts, like Epsom salt. It's not even a salt. This is true to form. We're not kidding anybody. The properties are what they are. You can look it up in science magazines, health magazines. Himalayan salt is the only salt you want. You can digest it. You can eat it, burn it. You can lay in it like tub baths. You can use the actual steams with all the minerals so that you can actually put those minerals back in our skin and our face over hot steamy water. Salt, when you put the light on, sometimes they sweat and sometimes they water. Oh my gosh, my rock is leaking water. And that is the most perfect rock. I always tell everybody, I want that rock back. Because 1 out of every 100 rocks might sweat. And that's, it doesn't mean it's bad or good. It just means it's that much better. that it's just that much better, right? Because we don't do negatives here. We do anything that's positive, that's what we do. Except our ions, we have to keep our ions negative. Why? Because the negative ion in the density of the salt creates our body to be a higher in pH balance, right? So that's the goal. Our goal is to raise our body in pH, lower the acidity level, because then we all become healthy. Healthy like weight, healthy like bacteria, viruses, fungus. None of them can penetrate. So that's the cool thing about our salt. So why not take a seat and get every amount of healing that your body can actually have for 1 hour in the salt cave. Let's get healthy together.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hey, welcome back. Oh, I miss my salt cave. We're going to build another one up here in the north. So they are really amazing. Maybe you want to go into like that. Maybe you want to do salt therapy or halo therapy before you go to a party, because then you're already like relaxed and you're already in that mode of being just happy and joyful. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the key into the party, right? Or is it the dreadful feeling of, that's not true, MJ. Thank you. Jose Flores, good morning. Eva, good morning. Ava, the salt cave looks amazing. It is quite amazing. It's very mystical. It's magical when you step in and you can't believe that you're being treated. I love her, and it's hard for me when I'm up here trying to find a partner. There you go, anybody who's in Miami. Trying to find a partner for that cave so that we can keep that cave running for everybody while I am now up here. And then we have Jose Flores. Good morning, MJ. Mucho love. You are just a beautiful Jose. I don't know where you get your energy, and I'm not even going to say, because you act like you're 20, and I know you're not. So I don't even know where you get that energy, sweetheart. But your motivation for that energy is an amazing, amazing thing. And God love you. And share some of that, because MJ needs it. I just said I gained like 30 pounds in 8 months from stress eating. So I need that motivation. And then we head back to Ava this morning. Balance is good. Balance is always good. So let's get back to the party scene. So maybe on the party scene, maybe you are recovering alcohol, right? A recovering addict. And you're like, I can't go to these parties because if I go to these parties, it's all going to be alcohol and I'm going to be triggered. Yeah, I get that. I get that a lot. So sometimes when that happens, I know there are counselors who would tell you, don't put yourself in a place where you're going to have that turnover. And now you become secluded because all your friends and family are part of that scene, right? And now what do? So why don't you call your buddy, right? We always have a battle buddy. We always have that person or that advisor or that consultant who is there to reach out no matter what we go through, right? You have a person, there's a name for it. Joel, are you still there? What is the name of that person? I can't think of the name. Somebody tell me on the thing. When you go through rehab, you have the counselor on call or your partner. What do they call that? There's a name for it. I don't know.
So you're talking about trainer?
No, when you go through the process, you always have somebody, like if you get yourself down and you're finding yourself the accountability partner. Right. So there's a name for it. And I don't know.
Life coach?
No, when you go through the 12-step process, you always have that reach out. It's like a battle buddy. You have that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's a name. I don't know what it is. Accountability partner. I don't think that's the name I'm looking for. It could be the name today, but it's not the name that's ringing a bell. But anyway, so you have that person. Take them with you. That's the best thing, right? the problem is that we isolate when we have this temper, or we have this anxiety, or and I know, because there's people within my unit of when I have to go to Christmas parties, there's people within, the sponsor. Thank you. Who said that? Miss Kim, sponsor. Right. When you go through. Yes. And Jose, that's the word I'm looking for. Yes. Sponsor. Yes. Yeah, we got it.
Maybe 20 cents tonight. That was way off.
No. Right. So we need these beautiful people to tell us it's our sponsor. Right. So everybody has a sponsor. Take them with you. Then you won't feel like you're alone, because your sponsor knows what you're going through. Your sponsor already knows how you feel. And so when they keep pushing all this information, and they keep pushing the alcohols, and the alcohols are all over, and you are going through that process, you need that sponsor. You need that person, to say, you got this, you're okay. And drinking lemon water with you, or drinking, I like cranberry and Sprite. I love that, like a Shirley Temple. There's no reason why you can't. I don't really drink alcohol. So I used to drink a lot until I realized what alcohol was really doing to me. So yeah, when I realized the difference, and here we go. Here's MJ's confession, which if anybody knows MJ, I don't really care if you know, but I really left the alcohol behind, because one can of alcohol, my liver was taking it as like 6 to 12 cans of alcohol. Even harder liquor was even worse. So of course, when my liver decided to attack me because of being autoimmune with the alcohol, I stopped going to parties, because I didn't want to, I didn't know if I had the strength or the will not to drink. Even though I wasn't an alcoholic, I wasn't in Al-Anon programs, but I did like the socialness of it. I liked relaxed feeling of it. I liked it. I liked being able to relax and sing karaoke and participate in whatever fun little games that they had. That was me. That was my energy. But then when I realized that it was like killing me softly, right, to say at least, I had to come up with another way. And when I come up with another way, my other way was 420, marijuana. I'd be able to hit and enjoy. I had 4 hours of enjoyment. I didn't need to get so stoned that I was in my bed. I didn't need to get so stoned, but it was another way of relaxing. And they use a lot of medicinal marijuana today for people who have anxiety, for people who have the fear, for people. Now, I would tell you don't do sativa, because that will make you more anxious. But there is another way to relax these inner thoughts, right? THC. Make sure that it's indica, and make sure that you may have a 5% or a 7%, because at that rate, your abilities of function just become very at ease. They become very peaceful. They become very solemn, right? And you already have that little bit to get you that anxiousness of wanting to participate and letting your guards down, right? And not being so angry and not being so misled by, for me, it's watching energies. Like I can't say can't. I can, I don't like to, and I don't want to, but I have the ability to see energies. And when I see lower vibrational energies or darker energies in people, I just keep my distance. I smile, I'm polite. I just keep my distance. I have that beautiful ability, and I thank God every day that he gave me that. But there's some people who don't have it. They just have, I don't like that person and I don't want to be near them. I get that. Or you've had a bad experience with this person in the past, but you're going to let one person rock the other 20 of the party? That's not fair to you. That's not self-love to you, right? I understand. I do. My biggest words are, I can understand why, but now you're hurting 19 out of the 20 people there, just because of one person who can't control their energy or their throat chakra or their heart chakra. And they have to bring up shit from the past, or they have to bring up nonsense like politics or religions. And these are just not topics of discussion. So why don't we throw topics out there like college football, right? Or the hunting that's been big right now in all the states, if you're, or the new music that is coming out, or the new musical that came out, or we talk about Wicked, or we talk about the celebrations of whatever denomination that you want. We're celebrating that birth. We're celebrating another year of us. What did you do in this lifetime? What did you do this past year? How did this last year go? Yeah. Find the positive. Flip the positive. When somebody starts talking on topics that you know are going to cause it, have your list ready. I always tell people, go with the list, topics of discussion to change, right? And change them just like that. Eva. Oh, I know that feeling too well. Yeah. I just make sure I prepare myself mentally how I deal with uncomfortable people, because I can only change my reaction to them. Right. It's an action to a reaction. Everybody has that choice. That's what we're saying. Exactly. You can either go in and say, listen, I know you and I don't get along. Well, no, we're not going to go in and say that. We're not, because that is an immediate negative hit. So the best thing we can do is come in and say, oh my goodness, I haven't seen you in a long time. How are you doing? Let them act as if you care about the person. I shouldn't even say act. We should care about all of us, right? Especially if you are a vet or a military person. Let me tell you, you didn't give up your life because you don't care about your people around you. All of them. And you can be angry with them, but come on, think about it, you Templars and warriors out there. You sacrificed your life for the people you don't like the most. Look at MJ's face. Does that even make sense? Doesn't make sense, right? Because when you go to that wall and you support on that wall, or you join the military, that means I love my people, God, man, and self. That's what it means when you put yourself out there. So we got to put ourselves out there, and we got to tuck them in and be that love and be that joyfulness and be that happiness. And just, how did this year treat you? How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Let them give a few words and say, oh my God, that's great. I'm going to go get me a piece of cheese. I'm going to go get me a drink. Great seeing you. Keep it short. Keep it to the thing. Find that, what'd she say? Find a way to compliment. Yes. Fantastic. Just, hey, how you been? I haven't seen you in a while. That's it. And to that energy that you don't particularly like, or that you don't really get along with, or you can't balance with, doesn't mean you have to be mean. Please don't be mean. The life's too short. My God, in my last week, I've had like 5 deaths of people close to me, and just unbelievable deaths, like bizarre. You don't ever know. So find them. Kill whatever it is, heal whatever it is, love it, and then let it go. No one's promised another minute. That's why parties are important. It's important to find joy. It's important to find love. It's important to find balance. And it's so important just to say, sorry for my part. I don't want this anymore. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it came to this apex. Use this beautiful thing. I hear my music. I gotta go. Hopefully we get Kiara. Hopefully I know she was up. She texted me like 1 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully she got up, because she is upcoming, but she's not in our studio. So let's figure out a way, and we'll get right back to you. You're listening to mbradio.us, and we are the station to allow veterans to have a voice. I'm MJ. You're listening to the World of Conscious Positive Thinking. I hope my patterns can flip you, and I hope you enjoy some of the party. We're going to get back to our party scene here. Right after these brief messages, I heard that I had a Christmas song on here. So let's go to Jingle. Jingle Bells, I think he told me.
know. Yeah, I never know. I said that I'll never know until I walk into the light.
I love that song, Joel. That was on Roddy's show the other day, the Black Sugar Show. Love, love, love.
Yeah, so
Welcome.
that's a friend of mine. He's in Nashville, Tennessee, and his name's Crow.
I
And,
love it. Into the Light is the name of the song, and it says here third class. I don't know what that means.
you know, the band isn't together anymore, but you know, he still has that talent. He still has that swagger, you know. So he's a really good guy, and if I'll get you guys the contact information if you'd like to talk to him, have him on your show.
I would, because he's absolutely right. Come into the light. That's like parties. Come into the light, because that's what it's about. It's about letting go, letting it go. Be happy and just come into the light and just show things. Yes. Look at all the buddy. Great song. Yes. Oh my gosh. So you need to get your friend. I love to talk to him about those words and what his inspiration was and how fun that was. Like, I love the beat too. So
Yeah, you know, and he's so inspiring because recently he just lost his son. And he, you know, for some people it usually takes them like almost a year or 2 years to kind of get out of that funk, you know what I'm talking about? And like
yes.
he's already up on the horse, you know, he's like, you know, you gotta move forward, you know, because no matter what, there's always gonna be a sunrise.
Absolutely. You know, that was one of my husband's expressions when he started taking pictures about the sunrises and the sunsets. One of the things that him and his mother did for years was they made time to watch the sunset and the sunrise. And she always said to him, in his words, was, you only see so many sunsets in your life. Make sure to see as many as you can. And it's true. Think about it, right? And thankfulness. It's always a thankfulness. That's why I like parties, because most of the time, 99% of the time, if you're going to go to a party, it is supposed to be joyous. It's supposed to be happy. It's supposed to be filled with life and new valor and just, you know, having that friendship, that connection of energy. That's what it's about. And I understand some of my happy-go-lucky party things are not happy-go-lucky, but I'm trying to reach out to those people who dread themselves. I heard a DJ once say, you know, is man conditions the mind that you're supposed to be there. Well, supposed to, is that a man's connection? Is that man's ideology? You're supposed to go. Well, and she's my age. She's in my era. And she made the comment, don't do it. You don't have to. No, you don't have to. But when you keep pushing yourself away from things that are not pleasant, sooner or later, it's on you, boo-boo, right? Because you've invited catalysts, and these catalysts are here to help you learn these life lessons. These catalysts are here to say, oh, what about me, MJ, or whoever you are, right? What happened to, you know, in 1981? You remember that? No, I don't. I don't remember that, you know, or right. And then the proverbial comes off of, oh, of course you don't remember it. The sarcasm. No, it's because if it wasn't significant then to me, then I must have been a catalyst for you to be that angry, because I would have remembered that. And whatever I did, I'm sorry for my part. How hard is that to say? Are we so egoic that we can't even say these beautiful words? I'm sorry. Where did that come from? Why can't we learn to be with that? Why can't we learn to dove into that for grace and humility? Where's the ego of man who wants us not to go to the freaking party? Who doesn't want to go to a party? I mean, Tell me, somebody out there who is ever listening, tell me why you wouldn't want to go to a party. And I'll give you an ideology how to maybe flip that interpretation. Maybe so that you can just smile. I have them. I have them in my own family. I refuse, like, okay, I'm just going to tell you, if my family has an event, but the majority of the family who does not think like me, I wouldn't go. Why? That's really too much energy for one person. On a one-on-one basis, yeah, I'd take them on. But not, I mean, come on. We're in the military. We're warriors here. You're not going to send one soldier for 10 enemies. I mean, you're just not. Unless you're, what's that guy's name? The Jason Bourne guy? What's his name? Who always conquers everybody?
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. There it is. Well, you see, Matt Damon now, he has his butt in a sling, so he's not even in the United States anymore. I mean, these are just, anyway. See where that conversation went to? Right to the top of the head, because man's social media has put it right to the top of the head. So, and I just, out my garbage. Here it was, my garbage out my mouth. I'll call myself out. Why did I need to say that? Because it's one of those where I'm like, yeah, you're going to tell me how to vote and what to do and how to do it to protect you. And see, that's how I would twist that. And I'd be like, see, for that matter, I don't want that. But you go ahead and you smile. You go ahead. I'll be over here. But when there's too many, no, why would I do that? Why would I put myself in a party situation or a party environment to want to go into something that I already know is not even close to my vibration? Because it's a party, it's a holiday, MJ, and that's family. Yeah, that's right. Now you're stuck. Nope, because we just got done saying you take your sponsor, you take that person with you, and you smile. And when you had enough of the chatter talk, then you make sure you drive. You say, okay, I'm ready. Now, if you take people with you, you need to let them know. When I've had enough, I'm going to go. Are you okay with that? Because you know who I am. And if you're honest with everybody in the family, before you go, then what? There shouldn't be an issue, right? They might have issues with you because of the way you think or the way you do things. It's hard. It's hard. And I'll be the first one to tell you, from my intermediate family all the way to the outsides, it's a rough disposition, especially when you have larger families. I mean, if you only have like one or two siblings, that's fine. But when, like my grandfather, he has 15 or 13 brothers and sisters. Woo, that's a lot of energy. And woo, that's a lot of different ideologies of life. And, family reunions were always fun because you can see, you can either see the joy, or you can see the dysfunction, however, which way you were looking, right? Or whichever way you wanted to walk out. I'm just saying, life's short. Make amends, balance, love each other. Find a way to, if they want to talk about what happened in the past, saying, oh, I still see you're upset. Find a way to flip that and saying, listen, we can't stay within this anger and this resentment. And I just, I don't want you to miss out because of somebody else's anger or your own judgment, right? Or your own ego. Find out where it came from. Dig deep. Where does it come from? Where is this anger and resentment coming from? Yes, I do have these people in my family. And yes, I just smile. I do. I smile. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to let you go for a while because you need to calm down. Right? I just don't. Now, if I intentionally hurt somebody, that's on me. That's on me being an ass. That's on me not being nice. That's on me because my ego wanted a old conditioned pattern belief to be there. Now, who's going to do that? Who's going to help me with that, right? Your sponsor, your battle buddy, get help before, get the situation out there, talk about the situation. People tend to transfer pain to others. Yes. So thank you. So Eva says people tend to transfer their pain to others. Well, the reason people transfer pain is because misery loves company, right? If I'm mad, everybody else has to be mad. And I'm going to make it so everybody else is mad too, right? That's an old belief pattern. It's an old conditioned pattern where we were brought. It's like battle buddies, right? Pretend you're at school in the playground and somebody threw sand in your shoe. What did you do? You went and you told the teacher, you went and told all your friends, you went and told all the playground that little Jane on Dick's shoe threw more sand. And now you have all these people, around Jane because Dick threw sand on Jane's shoe. Well, that's not nice, Dick. And so here comes Jane and her army. Yeah. It was the same way as going into as one person not understanding the way the rest of the family thinks. It's the same concept, right? That one person tends to transfer the pain to everybody else. So you get your army full of people. And now people come in, and now here's this one person with this army because nobody liked that Dick threw sand on Jane's shoe. See what I'm saying? That hurts. If mama isn't happy, nobody is happy. Eva, mama isn't happy, nobody is happy. We have to break the cycle and own our part. Yeah, we do. We do. All the way around, we have to own our part of no matter what it is. We have to own it. We have to own what's good and what's bad, right? Always. And that's why I said I'm so sorry for my part. And we may not even know what our part is that they interpreted out of our mouth or our actions, right? And sometimes it's surprising when I try to balance my militant MJ to the Mary Jo of today. I'm not that same person. I tell you this all the time. I've modified my behaviors. I've changed who I am. Some people, they're like, I don't even recognize you anymore. I get that. And it's okay because this is the person I love today. I'll call you out if I don't like something that you've done, or I think that you hurt me, or I think that you're going down an avenue to corral people against me. I will call you out flat out. You can do that, but you have to do it in not a nasty way, but a nice way, and saying, I'm not quite sure where you came up with this. I'm not quite sure. Or you talk to somebody to say, you know them better than I do. What happened here? Just to get an idea. I don't want to talk negatively. I want to find solutions so that when I go back and I talk to the same person, now I have a solution. Because my interpretation center couldn't think of it. Because I couldn't understand the deep point of their hatred or their dislike or their anger or their resentment. So find a mutual person and ask them with no ego, no judgment. Can you help me? This is what happened. I'm not sure where I want to go with this. I want to be angry because I know that's a conditioned demand process, but I don't want to be. My heart doesn't want to be angry. So where do I face this? Where do I go with this? How do I change this? One at a time. Don't walk into a party that is full of that same energy. That's just suicide. Just a suicide. Whoop, there's Kim. They may be patterns that are provided in order to learn the lessons. If it's a pattern, something that always happens, take note of that, get in touch, find the first lifetime. Yes, absolutely, Kimmy. Yes. Be a detective on yourself. Find the triggers. Yes, exactly. So you already know what's the trigger. You already understand it. Find the help to release it. All I'm trying to say is stop not going to things just because you have anger, resentment, unhealed, unbalanced issues. That's the bottom line. Like Kim's saying, figure it out. Find the first time it happened. It may be in this lifetime. It may not be. Depends on your stance, your religional basis, or your denomination. However, as a spiritualist, I understand, as Kimmy was saying, sometimes if you believe in reincarnation, sometimes our cellular data is going to come with us, right? And sometimes we're going to find the energies that we had disassociated or had karmatic issues with in the past life. I know that's hard on this station to hear. And some of you are out there probably going, that's not so true. It doesn't matter. It's your faith. It's your belief system. You can believe whatever it is that you want. When you find something that works for you, then we continue it, right? We continue that basis, and we continue to heal that which no longer sets in us. So alcohol at a party can also cause emotional disturbances because it allows you to drop your truthfulness. And sometimes and I don't know if it's truth. I have never studied it. I never really cared to study it. It says, be a detective within yourself, find your triggers, right? So that's Kimmy. And she says, and that's where I'm like, well, find it. Where is it? What is it? Right? Why is it that I cannot get along with this person? And then there's some people, if it's family, it's because of the trauma within the family as an inner child. Sometimes that doesn't mix. And it's constantly fresh in our mind because we're the child that had to go through it, right? Uncle Ricardo, every time he came, he got wasted off his gourd and he started, destroying shit. And then he had this mean temper when he got drunk. And it was just, I don't want to deal with that. Okay. Right? Now we're getting somewhere. Were you hurt by the incident? Were you emotionally distraught by the incident? We're going to get somewhere. That's where we're meaning by the triggers. What's the trigger to that, right? What is that trigger? Where is it? And so these are what we try to do so that we can come full force and we can find them out. I'm hearing music. It's time to take a break. We're at mbradio.us. We're talking about how to go through partying and how to be part of a party with ailments. I'm MJ. We're talking about the world of conscious positive. Let's see if we can't find our glorious Kiara while we're on break. Let's go to our break.
Since I'd seen his face, not much had changed, just a different time, different place. When I shook his hand, I knew something had changed. This was a different man from the one I knew back then. When he said, we do the goals, yes, I stand in line and watch the flag wave and bright. You see, this is what I do, yes, I bleed red, white, and blue. He told me the tales of his journeys far away, 3 times gone and land most only see on the front page. With honor and glory, he stood so tall and fought for you and I, so we could be free from it all. When he said, we do the goals, yes, I stand in line and watch the flag wave and pride. You see, this is what I do, yes, I bleed red, white, and blue.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. So, yes, we had some messages here before we left. I'm going to get to them. We tend to drop the filter when we drink. Thus, that's why we drink, right? To escape realities, right? When we try to numb our pain. Exactly. And this is a problem with people who end up at parties because their unconsciousness comes out when they drop the veils by drinking or have some other inhibitor to facilitate that with. And then we, of course, we have our beautiful Jacqueline. Morning, love and light to you all. Miss Kim came back. I got, my comment. For those who are challenged with the patterns idea, we can also call in the Holy Spirit each time and ask the higher self to guide us through that moment. Absolutely. The Holy Spirit comes now, shine on your light in the situation. Guide me with the kind words to get through in peace and grace. Right. So remember that time is short. And even if the party is a 2-hour party, you don't have to spend it there. The bottom line is heal what's broken. That's the bottom line. You want to enjoy life, right? Alcohol is one of those things. So I was going to have fun with Kira, but it looks as though our Kira overslept or couldn't get up or stayed up all night because she has issues a little bit sleeping. So we're going to get to some of the party fouls, I call them. So as a kid, my father was a huge disciplinarian. And of course, in high school, you always have parties. You always have all kind of parties that you want to go to. Some of those parties ended up not so good. And some of those parties ended up in disturbing. But things that you can do. I was one of the oldest in my class. I always was a driver. So if you're going to go to a party, but you want to be cool and you can't face reality with alcoholisms or realities of other people, or you just don't want to drive drunk. You have every excuse with the alcohol, every excuse there is, right? As a kid, I knew that my butt would have been beaten had I had alcohol. Not that I didn't go to parties. I did. I would get there one way or another, but I would have enough smarts. I'd get I'd get beers that were in cans. At that point, it was like Pabst Blue Ribbon or Genesee. But we got them. I would go to the bathroom because I wanted to be with the cool kids, right? I wanted to have fun with the cool kids. I would dump out the beer of the can. I go to the bathroom. Right, exit stage right to the bathroom, and I would fill that can with water. It smelled like beer. The can was a beer. I was with the cool kids. They had no idea I was drinking water. I gave that practice to my own children. You don't have to. I was lucky enough when I had my children to have a husband at the time. He was from the islands, and drinking became, as soon as you can put your hands on top of the counter and look with your eyes, right? They're like, all right, you're going to drink it. And you're not going to because it doesn't taste good. Let's face it. Somebody who says they like the taste of alcohol, do you? Or do you like the buzz and you're trying to find the taste to get you the buzz that you're not really not liking, right? So tricks of the trade. I always tell people open drinks, when it's an open drink, they're hard. But you can also do the same thing in the bathroom. You get it, you go to the bathroom with a can of Coke in your pocket, you dump the mix out and you put your Coke on top of it. You're drinking Coke. These are all, I can tell you a whole bunch of things. I had to tell my children. I didn't want my children lying to me or being scared to death to tell me. I wanted to be the parent that understood. And same can go with people today, right? You don't have to be a kid. But if you have alcoholisms or you have these issues with sobrieties, but you don't want to be picked on, because let's just face it, there's some egos that are not healed that will rag on you, oh, you're a pussy, oh, you can't drink, all of us do it. They go through this regime of just not nice things. And then it makes you feel bad. And then they guilt you, the peer pressure, and they start guilting you. Easy peasy, grab a beer. Hell, you can do it with Angry Orchard cans. You can do it with any can. It's hard to do it with a bottle. Hard, and I get that. Or you go and you dump your beer, so you only have like this much in the bottle, and you just were like, no, I have to drive. I'm, one and done or two and done. I have to drive. And then you stay with that will. You stay confirmed, and it's harder with a child, and it's harder as an adult when you haven't learned those boundaries, when you haven't learned to take that stance, and you haven't learned to be able to say, no, it's about me, and I'm okay with it, and I'm good. So it all works out. It will always work out in the end, as long as you keep your boundaries, right? Don't let other people press you who aren't healed. They love to always want to make you feel, no, this is how it is. Don't listen to that. No, stay in the positive, stay in the light, and stay in forgiveness. Stay balanced in forgiveness and understanding. Why? Because then good things happen to you. When you don't stand within that understanding and positive, bad things start happening. You start going down a freaking rabbit hole. And then you ask yourself, why? Obviously, life lessons are life lessons. And we have to be here to honor those life lessons. And when we're at a party, that party is supposed to be for us to enjoy. I'm just trying to give you some tactics so you're not a hermit on the holidays. The worst thing in my life is to have to become a hermit because I don't want to go to a party because somebody else is there. I had to learn to figure this out. I had to learn to figure so many things out so that I'm not extricating myself. I wasn't being put in a corner, right? Nobody puts baby in the corner. I love, oh, look, there's Amber. Hi, good morning, Amber, from In the Weeds podcast. So she's another DJ, and she has this beautiful podcast with her daughter, Laura, and I can't remember the day, but feel free to put your dates and stuff on my line. I'm good. So that's what I want to get to. I want to get to those types of things because there's so many easier ways. There's so many easier, ways of doing things. Or if they start this saying, oh, I'm out of that conversation is bound to be a negative. And I start saying that instead of just walking away now, I always announce that conversation's just, it's not part of a good conversation. It's going to end somebody being hurt, somebody being thwarted, it's going to bother somebody. So we don't talk about them. But when there's too many, especially in a family, and they were brushed underneath the rug, right? We're just gonna push them underneath the rug. We're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna heal it. We're just gonna keep pushing it underneath the rug, and we're gonna forget about it because nobody wants to talk about it. That's shitty. That's an old pattern. That's old. That's an old state of mind by ego. And I still hear it with baby boomers. It's a secret. Don't tell anybody. But then you get to a party and somebody knows, and then somebody starts drinking, and then the secret's out. And now, guess what? Now the person is being thwarted, right? Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough for you to tell me. I have to have secrets. I have a hard time. I personally have a hard time because secrets always come, the skeletons come out, the lies come out, because with a secret is a bound full of lies. It's a bound full of them. Never works out in the end. There's always going to be a discord. There's always going to be, why aren't you telling the person? Well, I don't need everybody to know. Okay, I understand it's your business, but now you're going to go to a party and people are going to go, wait, what? Because you already told them a story, and now the story is not the same story. So now you're like, you're letting a big trust of a family member or a friend, now it just got severed over something bullshit. Who really cares? Right? But when you lie about it, and you go to a party, and this is where it starts. This is where that whole family confuffalic starts. Because inside the nucleus of this friends or your tribe or your troop or your family, let's just say there's 5 people. These 2 people know, but these 3 people don't. Well, look at the sides they're on, right? The sides. Well, they're on too far of the sides for these 3 people. So here's this one talking, doesn't understand. These 3 don't know shit. And they're like, no, that's not true. That's not true. They would have told me. My God, we love each other. They would have told me. But they don't. They didn't. For whatever reason, the secrets. And then you get further down where people aren't healed. And they're like, how could you not tell me that? Well, it wasn't my story to tell. And then you become that anger and rage by other people because you didn't say what was going on. Again, it's a circle of, what's that guy say in the Folkers? It's a circle of trust. Where's your circle of trust, right? I don't know. Maybe it's fun. Maybe you should start playing Clue within your families or your friends or your circles or your tribes, right? Kind of like Big Bang, Raj. Yeah, the coin. There it is. The coin. It's the games, right? The games. And here we are. A lot of people are playing these beautiful games that now render so much fun, especially, I'm telling you up here because it's snow and icy. So now our neighbors play games. And then we play games with our neighbors because we only have like 3 or 4 neighbors where we live. So now it becomes a party of just fun. But we don't talk about politics. We don't talk about religions. We don't talk about subjects that are going to end up in any of us being angry. It just doesn't work, and it never will. And so just be aware. That's the word. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of the topics. Get your list ready. Because when your list is ready, you can change the topic very quickly. You don't have to keep running to the bathroom. All right. Or, you try to make eye contact. Like, that's me. I used to run to the bathroom for my exchanges. I don't really want to drink, but I don't want the peer pressure either. So if I didn't go to the bathroom for that reason, then now here I am. So now I just have a list of topics, or I spot somebody and get eye contact. I'm like, hey, oh, please excuse me. And I go to that other person, right? There's many ways that we can live within our environment, enjoy the environment. And remember, nobody says you have to stay there for hours. Come make your presence and then go. That's an honoring. That's a beautiful honoring for parties, right? So that's family. Now we're going to talk about going into our work parties, right? I don't know how many of you out there have been to work parties, but work parties can be very fun, but they can also be very dangerous as well. Because you get those people who start talking, and it's like, oh, shoot, right? So we're going to talk about work parties when we come back. We're going to take another break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about work parties and how sometimes work parties can get us a little in trouble as well. I'm MJ. Listen to MB Radio, not you, the station that gives you. We'll be right back.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hey, welcome back. Deck the halls with balls of holly, especially sweaty balls. I kind of like that too. I don't know. You gotta watch Saturday Night Live some of the holidays because I got a present there. If you ever watch The Dick in the Box, I can't help it. Some of the Saturday Night Live oldies just makes my heart laugh. So we're talking about corporate parties. So now we have our where we work, our work parties, our corporate parties that we have to go to. And you are like, oh my gosh, Jane, the ugly slut in cubicle number 3. I'm not going to be able to tolerate this person. How many of you out there? Right? Oh, I don't want to sit there. Or you go to another party and you see the seat and you're like, I'm going to sit all the way on the other side. Sound familiar? Right? Does that sound familiar? I ain't sitting on the other side. Oh my God, she'll never shut up. Or, oh my God, I can't stand to hear, his, whining. And so now you're like, do I really want to go to this thing? Well, as we all know, most people go to the Christmas celebrations because somehow or another, there's always like that bonus that we have to get. So we tolerate it to go for that bonus, right? But then when we come out, now you have the office parties with somebody's type of shenanigans because they had a little too much of that stuff, right? And now you just become the proverbial talk about person because you kind of made an ass out of yourself, right? You had a little too much to drink. You had way too much fun, they might say, but that fun, because everybody, we know this. There's people who drink and they get very, very angry. There's people who drink who just get silly-itis. There's people who drink who then become daredevils, right? They become the evil Knievels and they want to show everybody. Or all of a sudden you're at a class reunion and you're like, everyone's in their 50s and 60s. And now somebody wants to say, oh, I can still do a cartwheel, break their face. And you're like, okay, where is all this coming from? Where is it? Like, I'm sorry. I have to, it's like things like that makes me laugh. That makes me like, like, wow, you got that drunk. So what's going on? Right. Then that's me in like trying to dissect people. Now there's also the other way where people go to parties and they really do. They just want to drink, have fun and sing and dance and just be part of that energetic wave. Well, then they can't get home. But now you can because there's so many Ubers and Lyfts and just take it. Take the keys, right? If you're worried, if you're going to have that party as an owner, as a boss, or you even have people over, listen, yep, there's alcohol. Yep, there's this, or yep, there's that. But we're not driving. I'll have a van ready for people to take. Somebody as a driver, we'll take them, or we'll have whatever so that you're capable. If you have a sobriety issue, do what I do. Don't let peer pressure hit you. Just go to the bathroom with your beer, dump it, put water in it, and be done with it, right? Same thing. Ladies, even men, actually in this day and age, watch your drinks. Put a lid on it. I had a friend. She just showed me this, like about a month ago, is in Florida, staying with a friend. And she showed me this press and seal stuff. You go to the grocery store and look for press and seal, right? Get a press and seal if you're going to carry a glass, open glass, or an open container. And do a press and seal around it and pop your straw in the middle. And just say, no, I like drinking out of a straw because, people say the air, the oxygen with the alcohol gets just, do whatever you need to do to keep your feelings intact without peer pressure. Okay? That's the bottom line. But yeah, that press and seal. I even used it on my mom's like sealing thing. I was like, I don't know if it's going to work, but they laugh. And I said, no, all I need is duct tape and a hammer. I'm the proverbial non-carpenter type of person. So I find different ways because I'm just not that person. Anyway, getting back to it. So we go to these parties. Are you part of the office who then wants to gossip, talk about how bad somebody acted? Are you part of the office that says, hey, do you want to talk? You okay? You know, I understand that alcohol brought us down and opened up some of our facets. You sure you need someone to talk to? Be that partner, be that battle. Don't get your egos up, especially if alcohol isn't involved. Please don't get, oh, look, our lines are open. If anybody wants to call in to add, since I don't have my Kiara here, I'm kind of just filling in for things I wanted to ask her on her show. So please feel free to call in. The number is there, 720-619-0627. So if you want to join the show, you're more than welcome to come in and join the show today until we find our little Miss Kiara. But yeah, parties, let it be happy. Let them be fun. Let them keep people occupied. Play games, play karaoke, play cards, play, what do they call that? Beer pong. But you don't have to play it with beer. Play it with something else. Like, just have it there. There's all kinds of things that we can do to keep the mind occupied. And it's when it's no longer occupied, that is when these feelings start coming in, these feelings that you cannot surrender, and right out the throat chakra, right? Somebody asked me, I'm going to go to the party. They didn't ask me. They literally told me. That wasn't an ask. They were like, no, I'm going to the party. I'm going because I know they're going to be there, and it's the best way I can confront them. I go, really? So you're going to ruin a party for everybody because you have an issue? I think that would be an instance where I would say, how about you call them prior to? How about you figure out saying, listen, texting them. If you don't have a voice chakra yet for it, text them and saying, hey, I'm going to this party. I know you're probably going to be there. I'm sorry for my part. Can we just let this dead dog lie so that we're not going to ruin everybody's night? That's not so hard. Is it ego? Yeah, there's a lot of egos still out there, and it's hard. And they're going to say, MJ, I'm not going to do that. I'll be a laughing stock. Well, from who? Them? Karma? Because karma's your bitch at that point, right? And so you're going to have to replay this over and over and over. And it's like, here you go, Roxbury. How many times do you really want to go through that? How many times do you really want that headache? How many times do you really want to be an ass? How many times do you really want to be the Grim Reaper? How many times do you really want to be that ugly, vindictive pirate? Why can't you just balance? Why can't you just smile and say, I understand? Why can't you say, I'm sorry? Maybe you don't even know that it hurt them, right? That's another one. You don't even know when you hurt somebody if somebody doesn't talk about it, right? There's times people say, MJ, that hurt me. And I'm like, what hurt you? And they said, you made the comment X, Y, and Z. So I look at them, I'm like, oh my gosh, what interpretation did you, because I would never in turn want to hurt somebody with my words right now. Now, if somebody was aggressive and said, I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to bring that warrior out. I'm going to bring that militant person right back out and saying, back it up. Back up. I don't like her. I don't. I want to say, why are we angry? What happened? How did you interpret that? There's a lot of interpretations that your ego just put there that's not there. It happens a lot. And this doesn't happen to me. It happens to a lot of people where you're saying something and they went, did you hear how you said that? Right. I had a friend over this weekend, right? She's a counselor. Her way in our discussions is, when you're nice and you're kind and you're polite and you're soft, you'll get more responses from those people. I said, I dare you to do that with some of the military PTSD. It's not soft. They're not. They have to hear a command. There is sometimes loving can be stern or convictions. And at parties, this is not the time. Do I make myself clear? This is not the time. I would love to have this chat at another time, though. I want to heal this, but not today. Today is about love, and today's about joy, and today's about happiness, and today is about karaoke and singing and dancing and praising that we're at the end of the year. And no matter what denomination you're celebrating, celebrate you. And when we celebrate ourselves, it is a joy. It's a happiness. It is life worth living because you're smiling and you're filling yourself with good vibrations, good frequencies, and high vibes that's going to carry you. If they're miserable, that's on them, right? Maintain the smile. It's the smile that kills your ego. It's the smile that kills your judgment. And sometimes it's the smiles that will kill your enemy because they can't. Then they'll think you're sarcastic. You're like, no, I'm just loving life. Because I can't even understand why you're still angry at something that happened 50, 40 years ago that you didn't even talk about. You don't want to talk about. You're bringing it to a fruition that you don't want to talk about. Why? I'm guilty. There's family members I don't want to go to. And I'll tell my family, I'm not going. There's 10 of that same energy, and I don't like it. I don't want to go to that. They're not going to change. So it's okay, too, to say, no, I will drop you off. I'll take you, I'll smile and I'll wave. It's not for me. It doesn't have to be, right? What do they always say? A parent can pick its children, but the children cannot pick the parent. So some of us out there have a way of staying within our parents' old patterns, our old belief systems. When some of our belief systems and our patterns, obviously with evolution and new genres and new eras, they're changing, and they're changing quickly. And they're changing so quickly that some of us are like, I can't understand it. I don't even understand why they're doing it. And it's hurtful because it's a change. And that change hasn't really sunk in to where we can smile with it or we can be okay with it. That hurts too. Traditions, right? How many of you out there have family traditions? I told you our family has 7-fish dinner every Christmas Eve. That's our tradition. We love that. Where it's at or who it's at, it's changed over the years because of people who have crossed or passed, or people who are like, I don't want to do it anymore because the Santa Claus my father, he was the big Santa Claus for our family. After he died, my mom really didn't care for it, but my sister took it. My sister took it on. So now it's not just our family, right? Our two sides of my father and my mom's family, but now we have to get along with her family, right? With her husband's family because it's at their house. So you see how we add a flavor and add energy and add, and we keep adding, right? Or then we invite friends, right? Before it was really family for our family, for me, but now it's friends and family, and those extended family are our friends, right? Our good friends. They're our extended family. Sometimes they always say, you might not be able to pick your family, but you can pick your friends. And some of our friends who are there more than our family because we've moved away from our family, or because they're not going to be at every party that we have because we don't live by them. Right? Right. So we have to make it work every way we can. But please don't be a hermit. Don't stay secluded. Don't find a way to get out there, celebrate. It's a time for celebrations. It's a time to say, my God, I made it through this whole year. It was a struggle, or it was a tough one, or it was a sad one, but I made it. I went around the sun yet again, and be that happy person, and know that there is an adventure waiting around every circle that we make. every 24 hours. Now it's 16 hours or something like that, 18 hours. But every time that earth spins, we get another breath. We get another life. We get another chance to party like rock stars, right? And party how we want to, by having fun, by laughing, by rejoicing, or doing our hobbies. I love those too. I love the parties that are hobbies, right? Where you get together and they knit, or they get together and they go fishing, like hunting camps. They get together and they get to go play cards, or they get together and they have maybe a religious ceremony, or they get together and they have fire circles, or it's a gathering. It's that beautiful gathering that just creates an extra higher wave when everybody can be in the same energy and smile and laugh and have fun. And that's what it's about. Find that love, especially this time of the year. This time of the year with Kwanzaa and the Christian holidays of Christmas, right? Or the Jewish holiday. It's not Rosh Hashanah. What is it?
Hanukkah.
Hanukkah. Thank you. My brain is so good. It works when it wants to. So I just go with it because I know what they know what I mean. They like to fill in those spaces. So there's so many beautiful denominations of why we want to praise God, why we want to be happy at this time of the year. I mean, I have a lot of birthdays in December, and here, including myself. And I love December. December, it's white with snow. It's festive. People have beautiful lights out. Go take a drive. Go look at all the lights. If you're not a light watcher, do it. Try it, right? Go to boulevards that, they have light things, because some of these creative lists just make me feel warm. I went to one that was nothing but fishing and hunting up here. I was so freaking, I was just laughing. And then it was one that I felt like I was under the water. They had such a beautiful underwater scene with lights. It was incredible. I want you to get out there. I don't want you at this time to be steadfast in a chair, sitting watching TV. You can watch TV all the days of the freaking year. Get out, have fun, enjoy. I hear music. And when I hear music, I just want to smile. You listen to MJ with the World of Conscious Positive Thinking. You're on MB Radio, mbradio.us. I'm getting better at it. It's the station where veterans are allowed to have a voice. We'll catch you back. We're going to take a break.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hey, welcome back. Yay, we got the jingle bells in there. So that one of the questions that I was going to have with Kiara, which we will go ahead. What is that? Conversion Christmas cards. Conversation Christmas cards. What? Okay, you need to explain or call in, Miss Kim, because I don't know. Conversation Christmas cards. So Christmas cards is, if I'm reading her correctly, is a lot of people, they stopped really sending Christmas cards, some people. So you don't get as many, but I remember having
conversation Christmas cards. I'm just going to take a limb out here and say maybe it's kind of like in the movie Blind Side where they did the family Christmas card, and it was there was one black kid in that picture, and all the family started talking and stuff. Maybe that's what she's talking about.
Yeah, and that's a great interpretation. I like it. And the other interpretation I took from it was, when I was younger, my family, I mean, there were Christmas cards when I was young were amazing. I mean, we might have had 100 Christmas cards that came to the house. And we would tape them over like the entranceways. And it was amazing because my family all set them up. The link is for ideas on cards to start conversations or change the conversation. Oh, yeah. So as a kid, I remember going to my in-laws' houses, or not my in-laws, but my family's house on either side, and they would have all these cards sitting around. I love to look at those cards. I love to go read them. And I love to see who they were from, especially if they were something that I enjoyed. Oh, who sent that? Who has that beautiful frame of mind? So yeah, Christmas cards are always a different conversational piece. And like you were saying, Joel, a lot of people, instead of buying the cards now, they're putting their family's portraits, or, I mean, I even thought about it, but then I thought about, I think most people know that I moved because I was going to send a card out of the house and Ozzy and I in the front steps as our Christmas card. But then I thought, most people moved anyway. And then I kind of poo-pooed the idea. Why? I don't know. Because I'm into more digital now. Maybe I'm with the rest of the millennials and onwards that are more digital and losing that condition. I don't know, but that's a good one too. That's a really good conversation piece, our Christmas cards and how they're put together and, when the picture was taken or what's new. And I think that if you're not going to go to a family event, why don't you write what your year consisted of? Because how I see it is when you start to go to, I always say the wedding and the funeral, right? When you become a part of the family and now you only get together for weddings and funerals, it's kind of sad. It's really sad because you're not keeping up with those people who intertwined with you in your youth. So why don't you then write something for those people? Or you can put it online. I mean, I have a family only kind of page. And so it's rating, what happened in my year? How did my year go down? When did I move? At what point did I move? At what point did I hear? Or if I was a college student, or I got my degree this year. Find the blessings of the year. Find how beautiful those blessings are and talk about it. I finally got my, Kiara, that was one of the things with Kiara I was going to talk with her about was, she's walking. She's finally graduating. She graduated. She won't be able to walk now till May, but she did it. That was a huge accomplishment for her, and having a party to fulfill that celebration that she did, right? Like, these are beautiful parties. These are beautiful instances of wanting to celebrate, wanting to have fun, wanting to let our hair down and just, take that breath and enjoy it. So, but Christmas cards, I don't know. I don't tend to get as many anymore. I know my baby boomers are always sending the cards. There's some more people in Generation X who are still sending cards, but I'm not quite sure how the millennials are handling it, especially if the Gen X stopped really kind of sending them and they didn't really see that impact of it. Yeah, that's something lost. There you go, right? Lost things that sometimes we go through and things come back, just like bell-bottom jeans, right? These bell-bottom jeans aren't new. Maybe to the people who are just born, they're new, but they're always there. They always say history repeats itself. And I believe that. History repeats itself for multiple different reasons. But getting back to another thing with Kiara before I left, people tend not to go to Christmas holidays or birthday holidays because of money. And with the economy, the way it's been the last several years, it's tough. And you don't want to show up without gifts. You don't want to show up without that. So make it. Make a cake, make cookies. I know people who knit or crochet, and they knit little things, right? Kiara makes these beautiful wreaths. She is so crafty. She makes these things. So let's just say that.
Well, I didn't know that.
Oh, you should see the wreath she made me. And the wreath she put on her wall. Last night, she sent me this picture. She was decorating her tree because her husband came home. And of course, she's a couple hours behind, but she made this beautiful gold wreath to accentuate the ribbons that she put. It's just beautiful. Like,
wow,
you're very crafty. Jewel, you are like, I can imagine, like, if you didn't have money for gifts, you are so crafty at giving people an avatar or a character and bringing them to life. Like, I can't even, like, that type of creative juice is in everything. There's people who love wood. They can create little wood signs. They can create different wood plaques or different things. I'm just saying, if you have a source, I'm a mountain. I have a source to collect pine cones and limbs from evergreens. I can make a wreath. It didn't cost me anything. Maybe glue or string, maybe there's the cost. But don't let the money value bring you down, because you can do whatever it is that you feel. Find something and regift it. Regifting is not a bad thing. I don't know why man makes that a bad freaking thing. But if somebody gives me a gift and I know it's going to sit in a closet, why? When I know somebody else can enjoy it.
I was going to say the perfect gift that you can give somebody for Christmas that's not going to cost anything. And literally, it's going to mean personal. If you have a friend or a family member, you have pictures, put that to like a song, give that to them. That's like a keepsake to them. You might not think so, because we don't know how we mean to other people, but
right.
It's definitely an easy Christmas gift, and people will like it.
Yep, they do. Honestly, they do. They even love that you create. I have in the past went through all of my photos, albums, and all of my stuff, and took pictures of the people in my life that I wanted to give. And I created beautiful little, like the picture with frames, and I put shells or buttons or whatever and I put it on there. That was my I'm not that creative, but that was my creative juice. And they loved it. And still today, when I go and they still see them, that's awesome. Now there's some people, it's not their taste, and they got it as a gift because it was my taste. Again, give, like I started, I want to say when I was still in the military. I was probably 20, 21 is when I started, because I knew, let's just face it, the money in the military when you first started wasn't a lot. And we had to make things work. So what I started is shopping for people from the day after Christmas all the way up until like September. And I would already have all my Christmas done. So that's another way. Maybe not this year, it's a little too late, but think about it. And when you're out, how many times in a year have you seen something in the store going, oh my God, that reminds me of so-and-so? Pick it up. Pick it up. Wrap it. Wrap it up. Save it for Christmas. And if you have like me and you can't remember, because what happened to me is I started hiding shit and then I couldn't remember. And I'm like, oh my God. Packing. I found so many gifts stashed and stored when I was packing to move from Florida to Pennsylvania. I was like, I can't even give this gift away now because they're so over that age. So if you start getting that CRS brain, wrap it up and give it to them saying, this is for Christmas, but you can't open it until then. I don't know what else to tell you, because they're the best gifts. The best gifts are those gifts that you come by within the year to make you think about that other person, or to say, oh my God, they would love this. They're the gifts that I love to pick. They're the gifts that I pick up, because maybe then I'm not spending thousands of dollars for Christmas all in one shot, right? And that's the proverbial conditioned pattern of most is, oh my God, it's 30 days before Christmas. I have to go and spend this money. And then people get agitated that they're spending money that they don't even have. And why do I have to do this? You don't. You don't. You don't have to, right? Invite them to dinner. Here's a Christmas card. I'm inviting you to my house for dinner. Please come, right? What a beautiful gift to have an evening with your friend or your family member for a dinner that you're providing them to break bread together. That's a beautiful gift. Remember, gift giving was made by man. Man created that, right? Why? I don't know. Some people say it's the 3 wise men that brought the gifts to the king, the Messiah. That probably did happen, right? According to all the journals, that happened. And maybe that's where we found that we had to give gifts. I don't know. But gifts are created by man. Gifts weren't created by God, because God creates the gifts of love. And we have to love. We have to balance. We have to support. And we have to be on everybody's, planes. That goes back to the I am, right? That I am light. That I am is in everybody. That's why we don't judge. That's why we don't have egos towards people. That's why we forgive. And that's why we can make the statement, I understand. I don't agree, because I've already learned that lesson, but I understand. I could go on. It's Kiara, I love you. I hope you're fine. We missed you today. I'm probably going to end my show a little early because now I'm just jabbering. I'm the proverbial parrot, right? How I can talk and talk and talk. So I love you all. We're going to have more Mondays before Christmas, and we'll talk maybe about gifts. We'll talk about those coming up, or we'll talk about other things that we might have to flip in order for us to enjoy our Christmas, our holidays, our parties, our being, right? To make sure we're balanced. Be kind, balance. Use this beautiful voice that God gave you and use this, but take this out of the equation. Come back into heart. Love. That's where it's at to have the party. To have a party, you have to stay within love. You have to stay within clarity, and you have to stay balanced and forgiveness. And that's partying, because when you do all that, your vibration raises, your vibe raises, your smiles become bigger, your eyes become wider, and you just want more of that vibration. You just want more of that happy feeling. And you just want more of it because you don't have to worry about the clusterfucks that happened previously. Got it? Our aim is to heal. Rip the Band-Aid, heal it, love it, let it go. Then you can party like a rock star. Because nobody's there to make a riff, right? Unless you throw the pebble in the ripple. Put on those dancing shoes. Figure it out. Aim forward. You're listening to mbradio.us. I'm a lot of positive thinking. Flip those patterns, baby boys and baby girls, because there's a beautiful life ahead of you with grace and humility. They can just carry you and protect you and lend you with happiness and abundance of what it is that you desire most for this holiday. See you next week, Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.